Gauravani Jarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Vishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय ओम पाद धर्म ऐसी भक्ति स्वामी शिव प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम राधा गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। तीन दान की जय। मंदिर मार्ग की जय। गंगामयी प्रेरणापुरी धाम की जय। गंगामयी यमुनामयी की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्ति की जय। आगे से श्री गौरंगा।
Welcome everybody to Caitanya Caritamrita with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Thursday, August 7th, 2025. Today we're reading Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi-lila 16:9. Panchatattva Prabhu, are you available to start us off? Any chance?
Sure, unless Guru Maharaj wants to read, I'll go.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, would you like to start?
Yes, I can read.
Prohibition? Okay.
Otherwise, I can see you later. 16:7.
16:7? I had 16:9. I didn't see.
16:9?
Yeah, by the
Yeah,
chat.
okay. I'm sorry.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya for someone
Yes.
else.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vidyar Prabhav Deki Chamatkar Chitte Shota Shota Parudya Asi Lagila Pandite. Struck with wonder by the influence of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intellectual prowess, many hundreds of students came to the Lord and began studying under his direction. She deshe bipranam mishra tapon nishchoy korite nare shadya shadhan. In East Bengal, there was a Brahmin named Topan Mishra who could not ascertain the objective of life or how to attain it. Purport: one must first ascertain the object of life and then understand how to attain it. The Krishna consciousness movement is pointing out to everyone that the object of life is to understand Krishna. And to attain that goal of life, one must practice Krishna consciousness, following the methods prescribed by the Goswamis with reference to the authoritative Shastras and Vedas. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurn Miditam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadhati Shapadantikam Pandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kulpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhopyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. These terms come up in several important places in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sadhya sadhana. Sadhya means the objective, the goal. And sadhana means the means, the process. In context, what is the goal of life? And how does one achieve it? By what process? By what means? These are crucial questions. Whenever there's when Rupa Sanatan met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, again, this was the question. So when I meet people who are following this or that, they have a guru, they belong to some movement, they have some philosophy. These are always, for me, the shortcut questions. I didn't need to know all the details of this and that. Could you please tell me what is the goal of your process, of your way, your method, or your life? And what is the way by which you hope to achieve that goal? What is your method? What is your process? This gives you the immediate shortcut essence of what it's about. You don't need to know so many other things. What is your goal? How do you propose to achieve it? In our Krishna consciousness movement, this is our goal, to understand Krishna. And our method is to follow to chant Hare Krishna and to follow the methods chalked out for us by Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and so on. We can point to Nectar of Devotion. This is our process. So here in the case of Tapan Mishra, Nishchoy Korite Nare Sajya Sadham. Sajya Sadham. Nishchoy means to ascertain. Yeah. To ascertain, to be, yes, to ascertain. What is the goal? What is the process? Tapan Mishra couldn't ascertain it. And we'll find out in the next verse. Why not? Bahu Shastre Bahu Bhakye Chitte Brahma Hoy Sajya Sadhan Shrestha La Hoy Nishchoy. If one becomes a bookworm, reading many books and scriptures, and hearing many commentaries and the instructions of many men, this will produce doubt within the heart. One cannot, in this way, ascertain the real goal of life. In Srimad Purport, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Grantan naiva yased bahun navyakyam upayunjita. One should not read many books, nor should one try to make a profession of reciting many books, especially if one is a devotee. One must give up the ambition to be a learned scholar and in this way earn a worldly reputation and financial facilities. If one diverts his attention to studying many books, he cannot fix his mind in devotional service, nor can he understand many scriptures, for they are full of grave statements and meanings. So this is the result. We'll try to understand the goal of life by going to Strand Books or the local library and reading this, reading that. What does this scholar say? What does that scholar say? What is the opinion of this person? What is this method? What is that method? Or now we don't even go, we just click, 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 click. And the result is Brahma. We become confused, bewildered. Everyone has a different opinion. Shrutiya vibhinna. And then, so the result is that we can't reach a conclusion. This person thinks this person thinks that, but another person thinks this, on the other hand, that. And the result is that we just provoke doubts within the mind. Instead of getting clarity, we get confusion. Therefore, it's recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami also, one should not read too many books. It won't solve the problems. Mahajana yena katasa. One has to get the association of a genuine devotee and get spiritual guidance. Even reading many scriptures will be a source of confusion. And now we can go to Loy Bazaar, we can purchase many books, and in particular, we can dive into very high topics, and we can read and read, but will we actually understand? And what process will we take up? There's so many methods of advancement and the higher stages of devotional service. And one may think, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do that. But is it prescribed for him? Will it be effective for him? These questions have to be asked. In this connection, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives his opinion that those who are attracted to studying many kinds of literature concerning various subject matters, especially fruitive activities and philosophical speculation, are deprived of unalloyed devotional service because of their splayed attention. So that's clear in itself. So many books, and we collect them, and we try to read them, and we categorize them, and we debate them, and we discuss them. And at the end of the day, where are we? We're nowhere. Our Pradyumna Prabhu used to have many, many books when he was traveling with Srila Prabhupada. Some of them were Sanskrit books for his work, and others were other books because Pradyumna was quite eclectic in his interests. And Srila Prabhupada, although he many times expressed appreciation for Pradyumna Prabhu Panditji and his service, sometimes he would criticize him that you're just an ass carrying so many books like a donkey, big bags full of books. So, of course, it's not to criticize anyone in particular, but the idea is there that just reading many books doesn't get us to the conclusion, even if there are many scriptural books. Finally, we have to get direction from a trusted devotee, how to act, what to do, so that one can understand the goal and reach it by a suitable means. That's Shakyo Vaptam Upayata in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna complains that it's very difficult to control the mind and fix it. And Krishna says, no, it's true. Ashamshayam Mahabaho, Mano Durnigraham Shalam. Mind is very restless, but it's possible. Abhyasena tu konteya vairakena chagriyate. By detachment, by proper practice. And then that verse is there, Shakyo Vaptum Upayata, that maybe Praveen, you can give me that. Otherwise, my book is just behind me, but I'm too lazy to pick it up. But Prabhupada translates payata means as suitable means. Suitable means. Some means may be very effective, but not for me. And if I take up those, samshayatmana yoga, dushprapati, itime matihi, vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo vaptum upayata. Yes. So suitable means what's suitable for me may not be suitable for you. What suits you may not suit me very well. So one has to, one has to take guidance. What may have been a suitable means in Dwapara Yuga or Treta Yuga and Satya Yuga is no longer a suitable means in Kali Yuga. One has to take the recommended means for this age. But similarly, there may be various kinds of dharma that people are undertaking, various ways to the truth, but they may not be suitable. They may not work. Silent meditation, very good, but does it work? Is it suitable? Man has a general tendency toward fruitive activities, religious ritualistic ceremonies, and philosophical speculation. A living entity thus bewildered since time immemorial does not understand the real goal of life, and thus his activities in life are wasted. Innocent persons misled in this way are deprived of unalloyed Krishna bhakti, devotional service to the Lord. Tapan Mishra is a vivid example of such a person. He was a learned scholar, but he could not ascertain what the goal of life is. There are many learned scholars, they're really learned. They may be polyglots that speak in different languages, understand different languages. They may be expert in all sorts of different kinds of, or may of disciplines, different fields, or they may not be expert, but they may know a lot about different this and different that, very well read, very well informed. But the result is very distracted. Bahushaka hinantascha bhuteo vyavasayanam. Their intelligence is not fixed. They're going this way, that way. So Tapan Mishra was a bewildered person. He was a scholar, but particularly these things, dhyana and karma, distract the mind and distort the mind. So then devotional service becomes difficult to understand. Therefore, he was given a chance to hear Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructing Sanatana Goswami. Lord Chaitanya's instruction to Tapan Mishra is especially significant for persons who loiter here and there, collecting books and reading none of them, thus becoming bewildered regarding the aim of life. And Prabhupada uses that term bookworm. People who just get into books, that's their sense gratification. There's some whose sense gratification is, nasty food and liquor. Then there's some whose sense gratification comes in other ways. And there are those whose enjoyment is to just get into books and enjoy a type of intellectual pleasure. But that makes it difficult. That makes it difficult. All right. Should we trade off all these questions?
Yeah, we have a few things. Panchatattva Prabhu writes, for one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work, but he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion.
Yes, that's the Shaktuvaptamupayata. Okay. Thank you.
And Saraswati Mataji writes, Pranams Param Puja Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Often reading many different books or listening to many different opinions not only confuses you, but it is frustrating and you lose confidence to ever getting to the real truth. Many just give up on looking for the truth too, thinking there is no one real truth and you can have multiple truths. Raghunath Bhatt Goswami is Tapana Mishra's son, so father also became great devotee ultimately.
Mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I know sometimes with a little idea towards sense gratification, I'll go to a bookstore, or I'll go to a library. And you start looking at the books, and this is interesting and that's interesting. But I guess to my good fortune, by association with Krishna consciousness, pretty soon it's like, there's just so many books. There's so much of it going in so many directions. What's the use? It's just overwhelming. There's so many books on so many different topics by so many different authors with so many different opinions. So fortunately, I just think, oh, forget it. And these days I'm not found in the bookstores. It's useless. Useless. It's a danger, some books written with attractive language and so many nice, tasty features. It's a kind of sense gratification, and one has to be careful. But yes, it gets confusing and doubts get created, and it just diverts our attention from the truth, from the personality of Godhead. Would you like to assign, or would someone like to volunteer to read?
Yep. Panchatattva, are you available? Text 12.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
was I was reminded of this commentary by Guru Maharaj, by Jayādvaita. It's funny enough, for in Vanity Karma, on the 12, 11, and 12 of the book of Ecclesiastes. It's such a nice passage. If you allow me to read this short passage, it's very good. It's on the subject.
Read the what Kohelet says also.
Okay. Actually, this isn't, I don't believe this is Kohelet. It's the commentator at the end. It's the frame narrator, isn't it, Gurudev? The words of the wise are like goads.
Yes, you're right, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the frame narrator.
Yes.
Anyway, he writes, and it's actually also appropriate. The words of the wise are like goads, and like nails well fastened by a shepherd are the sayings of the masters of collections. And furthermore, my son, of these be wary. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. And not to read the entire commentary, but it starts here. The section that struck me in regard to this whole discussion is, Maharaj writes, what is the meaning of life? What is life for? We will not find out from mundane books, however fascinating or well written. We will not find out from bestsellers, nor from classic novels, nor from books of merely academic excellence, nor from the endless speculations of great philosophers, to say nothing of the supposedly spiritual books dishing out platitudes about self-fulfillment and sharing powerful techniques and secrets for achieving our full potential. Even immersing ourselves in books of authentic spiritual wisdom will finally prove inadequate. Both the Gita and the Bhagavatam say that finally we must come in touch with a self-realized person, a person who has deeply understood those books and is a seer of the truth. By reading books, we may get book knowledge, knowledge in theory, but by submissively hearing from such a self-realized soul and by serving him, we ourselves can gain a deep and practical understanding of what we have read. Then it becomes realized knowledge, knowledge in fact, knowledge that frees one from material illusions and entanglements and revives one's eternal relationship with the Absolute, with Krishna. There's more, but that's just like a real nice passage. So many in this wonderful book. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you.
Thank you, Gurudev. Text 12. Swapne eka vipra kahe, shunaha tapan, ninmai pandita pashe, karaha gaman, Tapan Mishra, being thus bewildered, was directed by a Brahmana in a dream to go to Nimai Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Deho tomar sajya sadhana karibe nishchoy, sakshat Ishvara teho nahika sangshoy. Because he is the Lord, Ishvara, the Brahmana told him, undoubtedly he can give you proper direction. Swapna deki misra asi prabhura charane, swapnera vritantar sabha koila nivedane. After seeing the dream, Tapan Mishra came to the shelter of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet, and he described all the details of the dream to the Lord. Prabhu tushta hoya sadhya sadhana kaila, nam sankirtana kara upadesha koila. The Lord, being satisfied, instructed him about the object of life and the process for attaining it. He instructed him that the basic principle of success is to chant the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Purport. The Krishna consciousness movement is based upon this instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that one must chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra regularly and according to the prescribed principles. We simply ask our Western students to chant at least 16 rounds a day, but sometimes we find that they fail to chant even these 16 rounds, and instead they bring many austere books and a worshipping method that diverts their attention in so many ways. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult is based upon the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Lord Chaitanya first advised Tapana Mishra to fix his mind on this chanting. We, the members of the Krishna consciousness movement, must strictly follow this advice of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Gurudas Jayādvaita Swami Namine. So central to the practice of Krishna consciousness is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And Lord Chaitanya taught this practice. This is our line. This is what we do. Srila Prabhupada is saying that in spite of his instruction, that instead some bring many austere books and a worshipping method that diverts their attention in so many ways. I have a feeling that there's a background story to this sentence. I don't know, Guru Maharaj, do you know what the background story for that is? That comment?
About inventing.
Yeah, bringing many austere books. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure of a particular thing, but often Prabhupada's disciples, they would be on some diet, or they would be on some method, or they would be reading, esoteric books and picking up this or that. And Prabhupada, dismissed it as a waste of time. Simple, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regular principles, get up early in the morning. He had a clear prescription, but everybody's, not everybody, but so many. Yeah, but what's the fast way, the fast track way? How do we get there more quickly? How do we, what else is there? Is there something that we're missing? Or this person told me this, that person told me that. And, or they have something from before they came, or they met someone who recommended this, that. So you're going in so many ways, and therefore neglecting the simple directions given by the spiritual master. So that won't help. I don't know of a particular incident here. Just the early disciples, macrobiotics, and they're, eating four dry biscuits a day, and it's, going to propel them to higher consciousness or something. sometimes we're so keen on doing something strict and austere that we leave aside the simple, easy method. Or sometimes we get, this idea, that idea. So Prabhupada had experienced so many disciples with so many different ideas and inventing so many different things. And again, no, just follow what I've told you. That story is there. It's one of my favorite stories in Prabhupada Lilamrita, where Prabhupada had just been in New York not so long, and he was set up, I guess, in that loft. And there was a newspaper reporter, I forget if he was Village Voice or something, and he got a tip from a reader that there was a Swami on the Lower East Side, and the person said, I think he's about to start a new religious movement. So the reporter was interested, and he went to the place, and he came in and he saw that there were all these like strange people, and some people are like sitting in yoga postures and doing pranayam, and some are standing on their heads, and some are gazing at candles or whatever. Everybody's doing something. And the man made his way through the loft. He came to the back. He saw there was a curtained area, and he saw Srila Prabhupada there. And he said, I could tell that he was a dignified person, a cultured gentleman, and that, and he asked if he should take off his shoes, and Prabhupada said, do as you like. It was practical. And then he said, what are those people out there doing? And Prabhupada said, I do not know. I am trying to teach them something, but they are misunderstanding.
Oh, I was so patient.
Yes.
Imagine.
I was put in mind while you're speaking. I know it's kind of, on another line, but I think the story was told by Redundana Maharaj or someone about him. I think it was Redundana Maharaj. He'd been practicing Chaturmasya, and it was like really severely weakened by it. He was in a weakened condition, if that's the right devotee, I think it is. And Prabhupada saw him in that condition, and he saw a big plate of Mahaprasad, and he said, eat that. Sometimes in our zeal to do something austere, we hurt ourselves. Hare Krishna.
We take a difficult path to understanding the truth when Prabhupada's offering an easy path. Or we go easy when we should be strict. We get it wrong. So we need proper guidance, and we need to follow. Then everything will be all right. We become stubborn and we think, no, why should I do that? I could do this. Why this simple thing should be some advanced thing? And we set everything off course. So Prabhupada had a lot of experience with that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have things in the chat. Praveen Prabhu writes, in the back of the loft, I noticed a little curtain, an Indian Madras type of curtain, and so I decided I'd peer into that area. I looked in, and there was Swami Bhaktivedanta sitting there cross-legged in saffron garments, with the markings on his forehead and nose, and his hand in the bead bag. He seemed more approachable, and I said, hello. And he looked up. I said, Swami Bhaktivedanta? And he said, Yes, I said, I am Howard Smith. I was expecting to sit down, so I said, excuse me, I have to take off my shoes. And he said, why do you want to take off your shoes? I said, I don't know. I saw all the shoes out there. And he said, I didn't ask you to take your shoes off. I said, what are all those people out there doing? And he said, I don't know. And they don't know what they are doing. I'm trying to teach them, and they seem to be misunderstanding me. They are very confused people.
Classic.
Okay. Barnali Ghosh writes, Hare Krishna. What is more important, chanting the 16 rounds or doing Mangal Arti in the morning? What should I do in the morning before I go to work? Pardon me if it is a stupid question, as I am new to this.
Thank you for the question. Sometimes Prabhupada would say, do both. Someone says, what should I do, A or B? Prabhupada would say, do both. I understand if you're working, you have to somehow manage the sixth. Prabhupada said in one place, well, you have to see what you can do. Can you chant 16 rounds? If you're chanting 16 rounds, that's very important. And Prabhupada sometimes said there's nothing more important for the disciple or the devotee than to chant the prescribed number of rounds every day. Doing Mangalarti in the morning, that's also valuable. You have to see, can you get up earlier and chant all your rounds? Or can you chant some of the rounds in the morning and some at another time? That can get difficult also. You come in late and it's very hard to chant. So you have to see what works for you. If you have devotees who are close to you and either geographically or online or what have you, and who know your situation better, they could perhaps guide you. There's no strict rule that has to be this or has to be that. We need some program that will work for us so that we can gradually do everything. But it should be practical. That is, we should try. That's also a principle in nectar of devotion, not to take on more than one can do. That doesn't mean that I say, oh, 16 rounds or more that I could do, I'll chant 2 rounds, especially those who've promised to chant 16 rounds. So we have to see what will happily work for us. And we should strive to do more. Not that we think, what's the least I can do? But how can I put everything together in a way that's, yes, practical. And then as we come under good, capable spiritual guidance, then the advanced devotee or spiritual master can give us instructions for our particular case. It's like a doctor, which medicine is best. So he prescribes, should I do this or should I do that? He prescribes, do one, do the other, do half of each, whatever he prescribes, that will be good. I think that's, what I wanted to say.
Naveen Prabhu writes, how should devotees respond if someone criticizes us for being narrow-minded in not reading non-Krishna conscious books?
Yes, where Krishna says, Ekeha Kudunandana and Bahushaka Hinantascha. Go on reading many, many books, and your mind becomes, you're traveling in every direction. The expression is master of none, jack of all trades, master of none. You'll read so many books, but you won't wind up anywhere. Then what's the purpose of reading so many books, and how many books could you read? Anyone becomes narrow-minded, just like you're doing that neurosurgical study, a neuroscience study. So all the students there narrow their reading. They're not busy reading psychology and drama and de Tocqueville's works on America and all of American democracy and so on. They've narrowed their frame of reference. They're reading neuroscience, and neuroscience. Then if someone comes along and says, oh, you're narrow-minded, you should be reading King Lear. Yeah, great, but how am I going to get my degree? Reading King Lear and this and that, and there's 100,000 things to read. So any intelligent person, he narrows his focus. What is it that's most important for me? What do I want to achieve right now? And what kind of reading will help me? That's intelligent. It's not, you can call it narrow-minded. What one man's narrow-mindedness is another man's focus. We call it being focused. You can call it being narrow-minded, but we call it being focused. In addition to which, we find these books, anything, like the business. In business, there may be like 10 different things that you can do. And then the board of directors meets and says, we're doing these 10 different things, and only one of them is profitable. And then what do? They cut the other 9. They don't say, oh, you're being, why are you cutting the other 9? We should be diversified. They look at it and say, the other 9 are either losing money or not getting much. So let's focus on the profitable part of the enterprise. So the devotee looks and says, this reading of so many books is unprofitable. My life is not improving. I'm reading the New York Times every day, and at the end, I'm just as dumb as I was before. And I've lost a half hour of my life this morning, and I'm feel just as bad after reading it as I did before, if not worse. So it's unprofitable. Let me put it down and read something else. We have a devotee who was a big executive in a architectural company in Bombay. Every day on his commute, he would read the local newspaper. It's like an hour-long commute from up near Juhu, Andheri or something, down to Nariman Point. And but he happened to go to a lecture at Juhu. He saw such and such person is giving a lecture. All right, let me read. Let me go. And the lecture was interesting. He got a Bhagavad Gita. And then after that, during his commute, he would read Bhagavad Gita. There, everybody has a driver, so he didn't have to drive. He could just read. He read Bhagavad Gita, and it changed his whole life. Just reading on his commute. So that's focus. You could say, well, why didn't you read 10 different things? But no, he put aside other things and focused on what seemed to address the most essential concerns that he had in his life. That's focus. Without focus, there's nothing. Hare Krishna.
Some comments in the chat. And a hand from Shandhu Prabhu. Would you like to speak?
Hare Krishna, am I audible? Clearly
You are.
audible. Wonderful. Yes, so this what is it? Bahushaka Hyanantas Cha is kind of my number one problem. It's funny, when I first came, I thought, well, maybe it's related to sex desire, but I find that actually that's not my worst problem. My worst problem is my mind wants to jump on everything and anything.
Yeah.
And so far, luckily, it doesn't want to jump out of Krishna consciousness. It seems like that's not a major concern, but I can't seem to focus enough to go deeply enough to be able to carry out orders properly, which is extremely alarming. So I'm very curious, Maharaj, what's your diagnosis?
You're probably a case like me. That's my diagnosis. The tendency is to be distracted. Yes. I don't have a lot of, tips for concentration and techniques for getting free from distractions. But I probably should. But I think someone smarter than I am and probably more accomplished than I would have to give advice here. There are all kinds of advice one can give about, from a practical point of view, from my inner, what would you say, a strategy for inner discipline or inner focus. It's hard for me to have a short answer for you, especially since I'm probably the person who needs the diagnosis as much as you, or the treatment. I think we've got the diagnosis, but we need effective treatment. Ultimately, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, chanting of the holy name will be most effective means. But I understand you're doing that already, so you're looking for some practical advice. Maybe Pancharatna Prabhu will give you some practical advice, because I'm too impractical.
Hare Krishna, I can't say I'm chanting with focus and attention, so perhaps practically I can focus on more absorption in chanting and not letting my mind jump. And
Yeah, that's pretty much my current concern also. How to chant with more attention. Yes, it's a project to be renewed every day.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. I don't have a band here, no. It's time for kirtan.
Krishna Konteya Prabhu, are you able to lead kirtan?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitagora, Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo, Nitagora, Haribo, 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 Nitagora, Haribo, Nitagora, Brimnande, Hari Haribo. Vishnu Padmahansa, Parivraja Jagacharya Astuta, Sata Sri Srima, His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jayam Vishnu Padmahansa, Parivraja Jagacharya Astuta, Sata Sri Srima, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jayam Vishnu Padmahansa, Parivraja Jagacharya Astuta, Sata Sri Srima, His Divine Grace, Jayādvaita Swami Ki Jai. Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hari Bo. Hari Krishna. Hari Krishna.
Holiness Jayādvaita Swami Ki Jai.
Jayādvaita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Haribo.
Balaram Purnima tomorrow Ki Jai.
Jai.
All
Sri
right.
Sri Krishna Balaram Govardhan Shila Ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you. Thank you to Lakshmana. Thank you to
Jai
Prabhu.
Lakshman.
And Madhesh, although he's not here.
Jai Madhesh Prabhu.
All right. We look forward to seeing you again on Monday.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Yes, thank you, Krishna Kantiya Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Jai.
Haribo, all Buddhas and some of the devotees, Haribo.
Right. Haribo Rasananda Prabhu.